MashaAllah. Jazakallah to Maulana Habib for reciting this beautiful naat in Bangla. The name of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muhammad. It was a name kept by Abdul Muttalib. I think it's one of the Fridays I mentioned here. As soon as he was born, his grandfather took him to the Kaaba and he named him Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a name which was never heard before. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not put this name in anybody's heart before the name was kept to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is a special name full of praise. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you ponder upon the Quran, any place, our name, the name of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not addressed alone by saying Muhammad. It will have a title before the name. All other prophets were called by their name directly. Ya Musa, Ya Zakaria, Ya Yahya. Well, our prophet's name has always been addressed in such a way, Allah called him in such a way, with his title, with the prophet, with the messenger, Ya ayyuhal muddathir, Ya ayyuhal muzammil, and many other verses. Abu Sufyan, as Muslims, we respect our Prophet, we honor our Prophet, and we try our best to honor our Prophet. Even the non-believers during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not find any faults in our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. During the long hadith in Bukhari Sharif, in the chapter of Revelation, Babul Wahi, Kitabul Wahi, at that time when Hirakal, Qaisar Rum, spoke to Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan was not a Muslim at that time. He was there. And at that time, Qaisar Rum, he said, asked Abu Sufyan, Kayfa nasabuhu? How is his lineage? How is his family? And you're saying this person is claiming to be a prophet? How is his family background? So at that time Abu Sufyan said, Huwa fina dhu nasabi. He is amongst the best family. He has a nasab. He has a family tree. In the narration of Bazzar, he mentions that no one can surpass him in his family lineage. This is how pure the family lineage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. We are sitting here to listen about the Prophet. If you look at the books, the old books of Seerah, it mentions the background even before the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It mentions the family tree of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the forefathers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were beautiful. We heard the verses of Yusuf alayhi salatu in Surah Yusuf. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was given half of the beauty of the world. This is why al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she says that the Egyptian ladies, when they saw Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, they started cutting their fingers. If they would have seen my Yusuf, referring to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they would have cut their throats. This is how beautiful Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. I was looking at a seerah book. As Muslims, our children, many times, they will know all the names of all the football players and this player, how many goals he scored and who did this and who did what. Well, you ask them about the Prophet, a few names of Sahabas, they'll be quiet, they don't know. We need to know the lineage of our own family first. Many children, they don't know their grandparents' names. We need to know the names of the grandparents of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad bin Abdullah bin Abdul Muttalib bin Hashim, bin Abd Manaf, bin Qusay, bin Kilab, bin Murrah, bin Ka'ab, bin Lui, bin Ghalib, bin Fahr, bin Malik, bin An-Nadar, bin Kinana, bin Khuzaima, bin Mudrika, bin Ilyas, bin Nadar, bin Mudar, bin Nazar, bin Ma'an, bin Annan. This is the narration of Bukhari. Until there it is authentic all the way. Imam Bukhari mentions all these names. This is around 20 to 22 names of the forefathers of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At least our children should know the Prophet's father's name is Abdullah. His mother's name was Amina. So the children sitting here today, at least we should remember that from the conference. That our Prophet's name, who is the final Prophet, his name was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His father's name was Abdullah. His mother's name was Amina. We should at least take this home with us. And our Prophet is the final Prophet. Our Prophet's grandfather's name was Abdul Muttalib. Now let me talk to you about Abdul Muttalib. We have Junab's going to be speaking as well. My name is on the list as well. I'm leaving that time that after Maghrib inshallah the other scholars will speak. Abdul Muttalib was very beautiful. His father Hashim was also beautiful. Hashim was very beautiful. He was the one that introduced the two safar, the two journeys, the trips, that he would go once towards Sham, once towards another place. They would go, and he was the one. And he was very generous, Hashim. The Mufassirun, the Mu'arrikhun, the historians write, Abdul Muttalib was more generous than his father Hashim. He was an accepted leader. He was very, very brave. He was an accepted leader amongst the Quraysh. He was the most beautiful amongst the Quraysh, Abdul Muttalib. Now, why is his name Abdul Muttalib? Abdul Muttalib means the servant of Muttalib. A very beautiful story is mentioned. 50. No. So the Mu'arrikhun write that Abdul Muttalib, when he was small, his father had passed away. Hashim had passed away. And his mother had took Abdul Muttalib. They were living in Medina at that time. So his mother, she belonged in Medina. Abdul Muttalib's mother, she belonged in Medina. Her family was from Medina. So Abdul Muttalib was there with his mother. Father Hashim had passed away. Abdul Muttalib had an uncle called Muttalib, who was the brother of Hashim. He was in Mecca. So he traveled from Mecca to Medina to bring back his nephew to Mecca. So when Muttalib went to Mecca to bring who? To collect his nephew Abdul Muttalib. So remember that. There's one is Abdul Muttalib, who is the grandfather of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Muttalib is Abdul Muttalib's uncle. Abdul Muttalib, another point to remember, Abdul Muttalib, he was so beautiful, they used to call him Shaybatul Hamd. His name, another name of Abdul Muttalib was Shayba. And he was so generous, they write, Mut'imu Tayr as-Sama, that he was so generous, he used to feed people. Well, he would also feed the animals. This is why he says, Mut'imu Tayr as-Sama, the one who would feed the birds of the sky. That's how Abdul Muttalib was. So Abdul Muttalib, was a young boy. Uncle Muttalib came to take him. So he put him behind him on the camel. So Muttalib is taking his nephew Abdul Muttalib, who is sitting behind him. They get close to Mecca, and by that time Abdul Muttalib's clothes it has become all dirty. So some people came and asked Muttalib, who is this boy with you? So at that time Muttalib was embarrassed to say, he is my nephew. And he said, I'm a leader, how can my nephew is in this state? So due to embarrassment, he was shy to say, he said, oh, he's my slave. So what he did was, he went to Mecca, he got the best clothes available, he put the best clothes, these beautiful clothes on his nephew Abdul Muttalib, and then he told people, oh people, this is my nephew. So this is why Abdul Muttalib became famous with the name Abdul Muttalib, the servant of Muttalib, because Muttalib was his uncle. Abdul Muttalib, regarding him there is a lot of history. If you look back, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, our prophet was Ibn Zabihain, the son of the two Zabih. The son of the two Zabih. Zabih means the one who was about to be slaughtered, or the slaughtered one. We know about Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. His father Ibrahim wanted to slaughter him. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam's family lineage goes back all the way to Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Well, there is another Zabih. And who is this Zabih? This Zabih. So the Bani Jurhum, there is a tribe called Bani Jurhum. They were from Yemen. There was a drought there. They traveled from Yemen and they reached a place where Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam was residing with his mother Hajara. This was near the well of Zamzam. They were the ones that occupied that place. Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam with his mother Hajara. So Bani Jurhum came from Yemen. So they liked this place as well. They wanted to settle there. So Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, the mother Hajara, they allowed them, you can stay here. It had happened, later years, what happened was, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam got married to one of the girls of the Bani Jurhum. So they became relatives now. It continued like that. Remember, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, his family was in charge of Mecca, the Kaaba at that time. So Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, when he passed away, he left his son Qaidar as the caretaker of the Kaaba, or on that area. Years passed. Now the children of Jurhum, Bani Jurhum, and the children of Ismail alayhi salam, Bani Ismail, they had problems now. Remember that. Ismail alayhi salam was there from beginning. He married a lady from Bani Jurhum, from Jurhum tribe. They are relatives now. Years pass. They are more, now they've got children and big family. Now they are fighting amongst themselves. Now it reached a stage that the children of Ismail had to leave the Kaaba, had to leave Mecca and reside in the outskirts of Mecca. And the Jurhum, Bani Jurhum occupied all Mecca. Now Bani Jurhum, they started oppressing people now. They did a lot of zulm upon the people. The other tribes around Mecca, they got united and collectively then they attacked Banu Ismail. They attacked Bani Jurhum. And these people, the Bani Jurhum, they had to leave Mecca at that time. When they were leaving Mecca, all the treasures that they had, all the belongings that they had, what they did was, they buried it all in the Zamzam well. And they made it such that the Zamzam well was not, you could not identify the Zamzam well, where the Zamzam well is. It was all covered, it was flat. And nobody knew where the Zamzam well was. So obviously then the children, Banu Ismail, came to Mecca and nobody paid attention to find out where the Zamzam well was. Years passed, nobody was bothered where the Zamzam well was. And this is now, when Abdul Muttalib became the leader of Mecca, accepted leader in the Quraysh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows him some dreams. Allah shows him a dream. Ya Abdul Muttalib, ihfir Zamzam. I'm keeping it short, I think this is Azan time. Ihfir Zamzam, ihfir Tayba, ihfir Barra. And he gives him some alamat, signs, that go and bury and you dig there. Quraysh, he wakes up, he tells the Quraysh disagree. He said, why? You should not be digging anything. He doesn't listen to them. He starts digging with his son Haris. He had only one son that time. He had only one son Haris. He started digging that place where the sign was. After 3 days, he sees that there's some signs of water there now. And he started saying, Allahu Akbar, Takbir. Now at that time he was saying, he made a dua, he made a nazar, a promise. Oh Allah, I have only one son with me who is supporting me today. Oh Allah, if you give me 10 sons, then I will sacrifice one of my sons for you. This was Abdul Muttalib saying at that time. It had happened that one day Abdul Muttalib had 10 sons now. He had 10 sons. Now Allah is telling him, oh Abdul Muttalib, remember your promise that you said you're going to sacrifice one of your sons. So he was there, he presented this dream to his children. Oh my children, look at the same story like Ibrahim alayhi salam to Ismail alayhi salam. Abdul Muttalib is saying, oh my children, I made a promise that I'm going to sacrifice one of you. What do I do? They said, oh father, do whatever you think is good. He draws lots now with everybody's name, all the children's name. And the name of the best, the most beloved one, Abdullah comes up. Every time Abdullah's name comes up. The father of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now he takes Abdullah. He wants to sacrifice Abdullah. Abdullah's sister grabs Abdul Muttalib. Oh father, instead of doing zabah of Abdullah, do zabah of 10 camels. That was the ransom, that was the compensation, the blood money at that time. If you kill somebody, you have to give 10 camels. So he listens to his daughter. He says, okay, I'm going to put the 10 camels in one side, Abdullah on one side, and he draws a lot. Every time Abdullah's name comes up. Like this, he managed, and at that time there was like, now 100 camels on one side, and Abdullah on another side, and he draws a lot again, and suddenly the lot comes out of the camels, and he says, Allahu Akbar. The sister is happy, takes away Abdullah, he says, our brother is saved. You sacrifice 100 camels. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith says, a Bedouin came to Rasulullah and said, Yabna Zabihain, or the son of the two Zabi, referring to Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam and Abdullah. So this is why our Prophet is the son of the two Zabi, Ismail and his father Abdullah as well. I'll finish off here. I think so it's nearly time. 4 minutes. Yes, so inshallah, I will give time for those brothers that want to do wudu, you can do your wudu, inshallah. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen this family. Even about the nikah of Abdullah. How did he get married to Amina? There is a brilliant story. Inshallah, Maulana we're going to have on every Sundays, there's going to be a seerah dars, inshallah, delivered by Maulana Muminul Islam. So brothers are requested to also participate in that, inshallah. So we will stop now. They will give adhan. We'll give few minutes for brothers that can do their wudu, and inshallah after Salatul Maghrib the program will continue, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.